Alright, let's continue onward. The court, I mean, this is the final day, right? It's gonna last a little bit. Mystic Maya stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with the staff. We don't have Maya right now. We can't. We don't have any evidence claiming, to show that she actually did get hit or not. But we'll see. But then she dodged Mystic Elise's next attack and stole her weapon. Okay. Suddenly, Mystic Elise was the one on the defensive, with her back to the stone lantern. Okay, I see what's going on here. Okay. Ah, so bright. That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise, but the Mystic Elise does not have any stab wounds. Well, not like knife wound, right? Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed. What about writing the thing on the pillar? That was a very heartbreaking story. I don't know if there were any bad feelings between them, but it had been 17 years since Mystic Misty's disappearance. Perhaps they simply didn't recognize each other anymore. That seems reasonable. Now then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination. Okay, no comment, we're just doing it, okay? The battle, cross-examination. See if we can smash this apart too. Mystic Maya stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with the staff. Hold it. Iris, where were you standing when you witnessed all of this? What do you mean? Well, if either of them had noticed you, they might not have continued their battle. I wonder if that's true. The two of them, they were standing near the garden stone lantern, makes sense. I was watching the whole thing from behind. It was dark where the two of them were, so oh, really, the torches were not on. I think that's why they didn't see me. So it was dark in the garden when the murder took place. No, the lights were on. Tell me, what did Miss Maya Fey do after she was struck? I'm guessing then she said that Iris put on the torches. But then she dodged Mystic Elise's next attack and stole her weapon. Hold it. What happened to the victim's staff then? I'm not sure. The area was very dark, so I really couldn't see. I think it got knocked away somewhere as the fight escalated. That makes sense. That would explain the need for the dagger. Mystic Elise raised the dagger to strike, but Mystic Maya dodged it at the last second. The dagger struck the lantern and fell to the ground. What the hell? Oh, and then at some point Mystic Maya picked it up, okay, because it was in the tree. Nothing sounds especially strange yet. What did the victim do when the weapon was stolen from her? Suddenly, Mystic Elise was the one on the defensive, with her back to the stone lantern. That's when she wrote the name. You are saying that Maya Fey turned the tables on the victim? Yes. But Mystic Maya wasn't herself at the time. After all, her life was in danger. I still can't believe it. The idea of Maya cornering someone at knife point, it's just silly. It is pretty silly. Oh hey Godot, what's up? As they say, a cornered fox is more dangerous than a jackal. I believe the correct description of a cornered fox is scared and petrified. Right. A cornered dog. Your animal and anagales have... Anagales? Whatever. Have grown tiresome. You are the one who started it. Anyway... So after Maya Fey backed the victim into the stone lantern, what happened next? That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. There is no stab wound though. Are you absolutely certain that's what you saw? Yes, I'm almost certain. Almost. Almost. The garden was dark. I couldn't really tell who was who. What did she just say? So in other words, it could have been someone else entirely.
Objection!
What objection? We know that Maya Fey was at the inner temple that night. And that the woman that was killed was Elise Ducknam. Isn't it fairly obvious who attacked who? Nah, I don't have anything to counter that yet. Well then, witness, please continue with your testimony. Yes, Your Honor. What about the torches? The two of them faced each other for a moment. Then Mystic Maya rushed straight into Mystic Elise. Then Mystic Elise doubled over and fell to the ground. So she was stabbed in the stomach, huh? Yes. Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed. Hold it. Where did the dagger go? I have no idea. It was dark and I couldn't see. According to the detective who found the dagger, it was struck into the pine tree in the garden. Most likely it was flung towards the tree after the struggle. That is the most likely explanation, yes. After being stabbed in the stomach, did the victim collapse right away? Now that I think of it, she seemed to stare at Mystic Maya for a while. And Mystic Maya stood there, not moving an inch. Really. It felt for a moment like time had just stopped. But then, suddenly, as if the spell had worn off, Mystic Elise fell over. Seems like a reasonable story at first. But there's one thing that is completely impossible. The very idea of Maya stabbing someone. That alone is impossible, which means this faulty testimony must contain another contradiction in it somewhere. But the stab wound was not there on the body, right? Stabbed her is what they're saying. Now, the autopsy, loss of blood from stab in the back, not stab in the stomach. Therefore, hence proved, your ass is lying. Something about you just isn't right today, Iris. Huh? Until now, I didn't think you were the type to make such a careless mistake. However, the testimony you just gave contains quite a few contradictions. What do you mean? What's so wrong about my testimony? According to you, Maya Fey stabbed the victim while she had her back to the stone lantern, correct? Yes, that's right. But in that case, the victim would have been stabbed in the stomach, correct? Right? Yes, I think so. But according to the autopsy report, the cause of death was due to blood loss from a stab wound in her back. Ah. This proves that the victim was stabbed from behind, not from the front. Sister Iris, it appears another seed of doubt has sprouted from your testimony. Ah. What? What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright? He's lying. Ha! It's simple. What is so simple? People are like books. We've all got a front and a back. You get my drift? So what? Is that all you have to say? I can also say that darkness loves to play with the human mind.
Objection!
No. Could you please knock it off with the cheesy proverbs and illogical metaphors already? The point is, too much of this testimony just doesn't make sense. Throwing away a useful staff, the people fighting being mother and daughter. And now she falsely claims the victim was stabbed in the stomach. There certainly are some inconsistencies. Well, Iris, how about it? Well, it's just... If you ask me, you're just being too naive about the whole thing. What do you mean? There are 253 distinct types of bitterness in coffee. Come on, man. But to pick out each one requires total concentration and the use of all the senses. Were you really concentrating on what this witness actually said? Prosecutor Godot, explain yourself. The witness was quite unambiguous about her own unambiguousness when she said that the garden was dark and she couldn't see clearly, but the torches were on, buddy. A human needs one thing to see clearly, light, and that is light. Light. By the way, did you know? Asakura has a rule that on nights when an acolyte is at the inner temple training, the stone lantern in the garden must be kept lit. I did wonder what that stone lantern was there for. Well, if that's true, shouldn't the witness have been able to see the crime more clearly? Yeah. Normally, yes, Your Honor. But according to the head nun, Sister Bikini, on the night of the crime, it was impossible to light that stone lantern. Impossible. It hadn't been used in a long time and the wick was no good. In other words, it had to have been nearly pitch black in the garden that night. There could have been a faint light coming from the training hall, but that's all. Most enlightening. More coffee, slam. Yes, that illuminating fact has chased all the contradictions away. Don't we have any evidence that the stone lanterns were lit? But the fire hadn't started yet. The fire would probably prove it. If the staff was dropped, it would be difficult to see. It also explains why they didn't recognize each other. We can't see the demons that lurk in the night. That's why humans are weak. Isn't that right, Trite? No way. Order. Oh, here we go. Here, Your Honor. Let me present the stone lantern into evidence. Maybe it will rekindle the flame of truth in your mind. Stone lantern added to the court record. A lantern from the inner temple garden was not lit the night of the crime. Okay. Why is the judge just sitting there with that look on his face? What's wrong, Your Honor? Was that flame too hot? This lantern, there's something written on it. No, we don't know. Why? It's written in blood. Oh boy. So the judge didn't know about that yet. Written in blood. It it says Maya upside down. What the? You don't know? Oh yes, that's right. After being cornered and then stabbed by Mystic Maya, Mystic Elise didn't fall down right away. She must have been writing that on the stone lantern behind her, with the blood that was draining out of her body. Great. It certainly looks that way.
Objection!
Hang on just a minute. What are you all talking about? What do you mean, what are we all talking about? Oh, he can't see it. We are talking about the message written in blood. Nonsense. This lantern, it's as clean as a whistle. Could it be? He can't see. He can't see the bloody writing at all? Now that I think of it, he did say something to me yesterday. My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. Yeah, so he said. So that's what he meant by that. In any case, this is obviously an important clue. We now know that the crime scene was dark, and that the victim scrawled this message on the stone lantern. Well, Mr. Godot, anything further? He's still like unsure. Mr. Godot. No. Okay then, let's move on. Godot is literally shaking, and somehow I don't think it's from caffeine overdose. Nope, he's scared. I believe it has now been established that Miss Duxnum was killed by Maya Fey. What the hell? That's just wrong. Now it's time to turn our attention to you. Yes, sir. After the victim died, you did something, didn't you? Let's hear it. We are all ears. Witness testimony. Sister Iris cover up. Give me a second. Alright, Sister Iris's cover up. After Mystic Elise died, I called out to Mystic Maya. I thought it was my duty to protect the future master of the Korean tradition. So I removed the body from the inner temple by myself. I dragged it behind me all the way across Dusky Bridge. Then I used a snowmobile to carry it back to Hazakura Temple and... I used a Shikishito to alter the way the wound looked. Incredible. So you moved the body? Yes. I was raised at Hazakura Temple. I owe a great deal of thanks to the Fae clan. But even so, I never imagined that Elise Duxnum was actually Misty Fae. I have committed a terrible sin. A terrible trick of fate. I believe you're looking for a twist of fate, Your Honor. I intended to return to the inner temple after taking care of the body. But you were spotted by the head nun, correct? Yes, and that's why I couldn't go back. Your story makes sense, I suppose. Mr. Wright, go ahead with your cross-examination. It's not going well for me. Yes, Your Honor. Sister Iris cover up. Cross-examination. After Mystic Elise died, I called out to Mystic Maya. Did she say anything to you? So you waited until everything was over before making a move? No, it's not like that.
Objection!
it. She saw someone murdered right in front of her eyes. It's not surprising that she was a little timid. Yes, I suppose that's true. Sometimes when I'm watching lawyers argue back and forth with each other, I feel so helpless that I just sit quietly and wait for them to reach a conclusion. You do that. Isn't it your job as the judge to mediate the argument? It wasn't until Mystic Maya saw me that it finally dawned on her what she had done. I thought it was my duty to protect the future master of the Korean tradition. How did you know she was the future master? So then, you knew the significance of the name Maya Fey. Yes, of course I did. That's odd. I mean, Sister Bikini didn't recognize Maya's name, let alone her position. Anyway, she was a very special person indeed. So I removed the body from the inner temple by myself. Why did you do that? Because I didn't want Mystic Maya to be suspected in any way. I thought the best thing would be to remove the body from the crime scene. You moved her body all by yourself. Who cleaned the crime scene then? Yes, I did. It would have been impossible if it wasn't for the snow. The snow, huh? I dragged it behind me all the way across Dusky Bridge. Hold it. It's pretty amazing you could make it all the way across. That's a rickety old bridge. It looks worse than it is. It's surprisingly sturdy despite its age. Yes, Judge. I'm sure you'll say something. No? It's like they say, idiots are too stupid to catch even a simple cold. But there's one other thing that bothers me. Why not just throw the body into the Eagle River? Oh. It would have been much easier than dragging it all the way to Hasakura Temple. I thought that it would still cast too much suspicion on Mystic Maya. That's why I tried to take the body as far away as possible. Ha! Makes perfect sense to me. For the time being. Anyway, what did you do after you crossed the bridge? Then I used the snowmobile to carry it back to Hasakura Temple and... Wait, is that possible? The tracks? The snowmobile? I knew that would show up sooner or later. Yes, I had the key. I used the snowmobile to travel from Hasakura Temple to Dusky Bridge. This is the part that was in question the other day. Should I ask for more details? Ask about the snowmobile. Let me hear more about the snowmobile ride. Well, it was very cold that night. So I rode it all the way to the foot of the bridge.
Objection!
What objection? I am sorry, witness. But now, I have got a problem with your testimony. Excuse me? Gadot, what are you up to now? That night, after the head nun left the remainder of the training to you, she said she walked from the inner temple back to Hasakura Temple. Yes, I am fairly certain that's what the record indicates. Let's recall her comments on the subject. Maybe. But when I made it back to Hasakura Temple, it was there, by the main gate. The snowmobile, I mean. Right, with snow on it. The snowmobile was in front of the main gate. This is one of those contradictions, wouldn't you say? Oh. Well, thank you, Gadot. Or order, Mr. Gadot. Why are you pointing out contradictions in the witness's testimony? Let's just say I like things to be neat and tidy, okay? Well, maybe Sister Bikini missed it. Yes, maybe she didn't see it. You think she missed it? That doesn't sound right. Ha! Whatever. Even I don't think this is decisive enough to warrant any more time or effort. It's just, you'd better be careful in your testimony. That's all I wanted to say. A smart little cookie like you shouldn't have any trouble understanding that. Yes, sir. What was that all about? Why would Gadot want to give me a hint? Very well then. Let's continue with the testimony. So you transported the body by snowmobile all the way to the Hazakura temple courtyard? Yes, I thought that way Mystic Maya would never be suspected. That's what I thought anyway, and then I used the Shitishito rule, alter the way the wound looked. Let's ask about this first. Is that what you were doing when Sister Bikini saw you? Yes, that's right. She probably thought the worst. Probably? More like definitely. I see. So Sister Bikini mistakenly thought you were the one that murdered Miss Buxnam. I am so sorry. Please forgive me. It's my fault that this case has gotten so confusing. I don't want to believe it, but I don't think my logic is failing me. Iris is trying to pin the murder on Maya, yep. But why would she want to do that? Because her sister told her to. There's only one reason I can think of. Okay, we can push her here again. More details about the tracks. If you really did move her body by snowmobile, then there should be tracks left in the snow, right? Well, yes, naturally you would expect tracks. This picture was presented at yesterday's trial. One set of tracks. Are these the tracks from that ride? Yes, I think they are. But I can only see one set of tracks here. I don't see what's so strange about that. Snow was still falling when I left Hazakura temple. I see. Snow was still falling, huh? And then, when the murder took place, it had already stopped. That's why there are such fresh-looking tracks. How about it, Mr. Wright? What do you think about this testimony? I mean, it's very important. When the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. That doesn't make sense if you stack it up against the other evidence. Your Honor, I'd like the statement Iris just made added to the testimony. But does it have something to do with the case? All will be made clear if you allow her statement to be added to the record. Ha! This should be fun. Let's get this snow business cleared up, shall we? Yes, sir. By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped, right at the end. Okay. There have been a lot of contradictions in your testimony so far. This time, are you sure it's all true? Yes, I am. When the murder took place, when the murder happened, the snow had already stopped. According to you, that's why the snowmobile tracks were so clear. That's right. I am certain of it. I think I've trapped her this time. I see how you think. No, huh? What is going on here? If the snow really had stopped by the time of the murder, it would mean there's a bigger hole in her story than that movie, The Great Revelations. What the hell? What movie is that? Ha! Well then, Mr. Trite, perhaps you'd like to share your theory with us. What was the timing like? 10:50 was snow. Snow had stopped. Lightning? Yes, okay, Dusky Bridge was on fire. Dusky Bridge was literally on fire. Let's see what's up your sleeve. Or rather, at the end of your index finger. Oh? I don't want to believe it, but she's pinning the murder. Save. And then we'll present the regional weather report. The witness's statement is clearly faulty, Your Honor. I'm sorry, but I can see nothing faulty. Unfortunately, I will have to penalize you, Mr. Wright. What the hell? Ugh, I must be on the wrong track. The snow had stopped. The snow stopped, that means you're saying the murder happened after 10:50. But we know that the lightning struck Dusky Bridge at 10:45. How would you have crossed the bridge? Maybe I show it here, I doubt that. Oh, I do, okay. You claim that the snow had already stopped when the murder occurred. But I'm sorry, Iris. That just isn't possible. What? This is the weather data from the night of the murder. According to this, the snow didn't stop until 10:50 p.m. But you couldn't have crossed Dusky Bridge at that time. Why do you say that? Because 5 minutes before the snow stopped, Dusky Bridge was struck by lightning and had caught on fire. What did you say? The bridge, it was on fire. You don't mean to say you didn't know about it. It was because of that lightning strike that the bridge burned down. What? But it can't be. It looks like you still haven't figured it out. No matter how hard you try to deceive or conceal the truth, you can't pull the wool over the eyes of a real defense attorney. No. Order again. Order. The bridge was already on fire when the incident took place. That's right. The inner temple was already totally cut off from the outside world. There's no way you could have crossed the bridge, body or no body. Witness, even my patience has its limits. Any further lying and I will find you in contempt of court. Do you have anything to say for yourself?
Objection!
Oh. The only person here that is truly contemptible is you. The judge? Old man. Good. How dare you? Whether this witness lied or not doesn't mean squat right now. Really? This is squat. The important thing now is to find out the truth. Isn't that right? Yes, of course, but whether it was snowing or not snowing, or whether the bridge was burning or not, There are two facts that can't be disputed. First, the body of Elise Duxnum was discovered in the Hazakura temple courtyard. And second, the head nun, Sister Bikini, witnessed Iris desecrating Elise Duxnum's body. Oh, he makes a good point on both accounts. That's right, I'm not lying. What are you claiming this time? I wasn't myself at all that night. So my memory is still somewhat hazy.
Objection!
Come on. You have stood at that witness stand and testified this entire time. Are you telling us now that your memory of that night is hazy?
Objection!
Objection again. It is only human to err. You're so perfect, right? Maybe you can explain this for the court. What is it? When the murder happened, the bridge had already burned down. But somehow, the body traveled across the bridge and was found in the temple courtyard. Perhaps you have some kind of perfect explanation for this little magic trick. Ugh. Well, not exactly, no. I know there must be some other way she got across that burnt out bridge. Probably crossed over on the support or something. But unless I can somehow demonstrate it, we'll never know the truth. It looks like the defense is not prepared to offer a suitable explanation. See what I mean? In other words, you're in no position to suggest that this lady's testimony isn't the truth. Ah! Alright then. Witness, let's hear your testimony once more again. About what, Your Honor? You have admitted that you moved the victim's body. Nevertheless, your prior testimony contained a rather large inconsistency. Please add an explanation for that to your testimony. Yes, Your Honor. Add. Will this be her final testimony? Will it? Is it completely new? It's new. Moving the body. Witness testimony. Okay. Other than walking over the bridge, there's no way to move the body. So I must have just gotten confused, I guess. Alright, so I must have just gotten confused, I guess. Confused, huh? Was the snow still falling or had it stopped? Does it really matter that much? It does. Or are you saying that there is a way to cross a burning bridge? Well, we saw someone flying over it. So it was just a misunderstanding, I see. This is a photo of Dusky Bridge after it burned down from the lightning blast. It was taken on the morning after the incident. I mean, there's definitely the top rope. It certainly was burned to a crisp, and one of the suspension wires even snapped. It's amazing the whole bridge didn't fall over. Ran across the top. Certainly it would be impossible to carry a corpse across a bridge in this condition. Dusky Bridge photo added to the court record, taken the morning after the crime. Unless I do something to discredit this testimony, it's going to be deemed as the truth. And Maya will be accused of murder. Can't have that. Right, I'm only going to say it one more time. Oh, but what? It's only human to err. And only humans can spot the errors of our ways. The more sense he makes, the less sense he makes. Incredible. Alright, Mr. Wright. Please begin your final cross-examination. Final, huh? Moving the body. Cross-examination. Final for her, at least, I would say. Other than walking over the bridge, there's no way to move the body. Really? Yes, but if the snow had already stopped when the incident took place, I couldn't have crossed the bridge, naturally. Oh. But I think it's just like Mr. Godot said. The body did make it across somehow. So I must have just gotten confused, I guess. Hold it. But you seemed to be quite sure of yourself when you gave your testimony. You said you were sure the snow had already stopped. I am terribly sorry. I was wrong. Does she really think an apology is going to get her off the hook? Was the snow still falling or had it stopped? Does it really matter that much? It does, again. This is no joke. You're giving sworn testimony in a court of law. Well, Mr. Wright, let me ask you a question. Do you remember what the weather was like 1 week ago today? Huh? Well, naturally, it was, I don't know. You see, it's not that easy to remember, is it? But if it had been some kind of a special day, I would have remembered. For example, it was pouring rain on the day of my elementary school graduation.
Objection!
What do you mean, objection? No one wants to hear about your childhood traumas, right? What? By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. If you insist on obsessing over that one statement, let's see the proof. Shows some evidence that the body somehow crossed the bridge while it was on fire. Or are you saying that there is a way to cross a burning bridge? Well, I don't see why there couldn't be a way across. Mr. Wright, don't you think that sounds a bit silly? Oh. A dead body crossing a burning bridge. Did anyone actually witness such a thing? Ha! If there was, I don't think you'd call someone like that a witness. Talking about Larry, obviously. After all, a dream isn't the same as actually seeing something. Talking about the photo he drew. I've come all this way, so I owe it to everyone to figure this out. But how do you transport a body across a burning bridge? Even if I don't know the exact answer yet, it's okay. I'll start by examining all of my evidence and see where that takes me. I've got to be like a shark. If I don't keep moving, I'm as good as dead. Yep, sharks gotta keep moving or they can't breathe. Nope. Okay. Too far. Save here. Is there a way to cross a burning bridge? Yes. Look at Larry's sketch. A dead body flying over a burning bridge. I wouldn't exactly rule out the possibility. What? Ha! You're saying it's possible. Don't make me laugh. The only thing that's possible about your claim is that it's been pulled out of thin air. I don't know about that. In any case, we have a witness who did see it happen. Preposterous. Who is it? Who is this witness? I can't chicken out here. I've gotta keep on the attack and go, go, go. Miss Elise Tuxnam's brilliant and highly gifted apprentice, Laurie Seductionum. Brilliant, highly gifted apprentice? Remember what he said in his testimony. That night he was at the Mountain Shack, Heavenly Hall. And that's when he witnessed the event. I think you've all seen this sketch before. It's an exact drawing of what he witnessed that night. Great. No words. Are you serious? Today is not April Fool's Day, is it? Mr. Wright, are you seriously claiming that the victim flew through the air? And you're using this pathetic scribble to support your argument? Uh-oh. The judge looks like he's about to blow a gasket. Ha! Well tried. There's nowhere for you to hide now. Other than looking like it was drawn by a 6-year-old, does this sketch prove anything? Yes. I am pretty sure it does, and I'm going to prove it. Listen, I know your tricks. You're trying to turn this whole thing upside down. No. If you're so eager to turn this case upside down, why not start with this sketch? Upside down? Why did Godot say that? The sketch upside down? Alright then, let's hear the defense's theory. He was sleeping upside down. What exactly is this sketch trying to show? I don't think old Whiskerface is going to forgive any more mistakes. He saw a body falling down? Alright Phoenix, look carefully and think it over. The sketch drawn by Loris Duxidum is evidence of nothing, a complete contradiction, or exactly what happened? Exactly what happened, I guess. That's kind of what happened. Of course the victim was flying through the air. You can see it right there in the sketch. Boosh! Nope, it is opposite of that, I think. You know, you're starting to remind me of yesterday's witness. Wah! That was the last thing I wanted to hear. Do you have any evidence that the victim flew through the air? Just so you know, we haven't discovered a giant human catapult at the inner temple yet. Ugh, I wish they had. Even if you're a lousy lawyer, at least you're 1 cup's worth of entertainment. I think we should skip the penalty this time. Nung. There must be some way, I just know it. There must be a way to use Larry's sketch to show the truth of what happened. Alright then, the witness will now return to her testimony. Yes, Your Honor. 1 second. Go back. A complete contradiction? I guess it's the opposite. She's falling down. Something is obviously funny about this sketch. I am no art critic, but even I can see that. No, that's not what I mean, Your Honor. Loris Duxnum stated it over and over. That this sketch was exactly as he saw it, yep, upside down. However, if we are to believe his testimony, then the sketch contradicts reality as we know it. It contradicts reality. Ha! This is getting interesting. Looks like you're back to that finger pointing thing again. Okay, right? So what exactly contradicts reality as we know it? The body flying through the air? This flying figure, naturally. After all, people haven't learned to fly yet. Or did I miss something? Yeah, Mr. Wright. That answer just now. It was lethal. Lethal for me. Mr. Wright, after dragging us all the way to this point, that answer was embarrassing. It was so embarrassing I'm actually blushing. Great. Blushing only suits women, not the elderly. Anyway, what now? Point to something else or rethink things? Okay, 1 second. This is something going on there. It's a complete contradiction. First of all. Right, because we have a photo of the Dusky Bridge. Where are the supports? The turn is at the top. I don't see any supports in this photo. It contradicts reality. It's getting interesting. The supports.
Take that!
It's this wire connected to the bridge. The wire? Ha! Is that the thing that contradicts reality? Yeah, it's above. It should be below. It is indeed. Then show us the reality it supposedly conflicts with. Show us something that points out how the sketch contradicts reality. You can see the supports are below. Right, the photo of Dusky Bridge. That's a photo of Dusky Bridge, correct? Yes, now compare the sketch and the photo for a minute. In the sketch, the wires appear to be above the guard wires. But on the actual Dusky Bridge, jumping Chesophal, the wires are below the guard wires. What? It's upside down. You said that, Godot. Order, order, order. This sketch is somewhat different to what's depicted in the photo. However, isn't it likely that the artist just saw it wrong? Or perhaps he just drew it wrong? Either way, it sounds like you are just wrong. No. With someone like Loris, I admit a mistake is a definite possibility. But then that begs the question. Why did he make a mistake? What was the reason? Are you saying you know the answer to that? Listen, think back, alright? Remember what Loris was doing when he witnessed this event. He was at Heavenly Hall waiting for a lover that was never going to come. He waited and finally he laid down. But then, lightning shoots from the sky and sets the bridge aflame. Now ponder what sort of position Loris must have been at that time. He was lying on his back, which is why he remembered the scene the way he did. He was lying on his back. I can't see how it relates. But it does, Your Honor. That is the reason why the wires in the sketch go up instead of down. Ah! Ugh, no way. Loris Luxenum witnessed the event while he was lying on his back, face up. In other words, the scene that he saw was actually upside down. So then, this sketch should actually... I think you finally get it, Your Honor. The correct way to view Loris Luxenum's sketch is like this. We saw someone falling. This is how it should actually look. The victim's body wasn't lying above the bridge. It was actually swinging below. Oh, it swung. That's right, just like a pendulum. Ridiculous. Order or objection. Of all the things to say, a pendulum. The bridge was burning to a crisp. There was no way to get across it. But if the body had been found at the inner temple, it would have caused problems. This is where the criminal decided to take a gamble. He used a burning bridge to get the body across to the other side. And a pendulum was the only way to get it done.
Objection!
Let's think about this for a minute, shall we? Dusky Bridge is about 20 yards long. Which means it's about that far away, from the inner temple to the opposite cliff. Yes. Yes, that sounds right. In order to cover that distance with a pendulum, you would need a rope at least 10 yards long. To get a rope that long, you have to plan ahead. Nope, the support wire. The lightning strike that night can only have been an accident. So it doesn't make sense that the culprit would have prepared the rope beforehand. So then, they didn't have to get the rope ready. The rope was already right in front of them. What? I'm saying that it was just a matter of using what was already there. In that case, Mr. Wright, please give us an explanation to support your theory. It was a support wire. What makes you think the criminal had the rope on hand to create a pendulum? The map, I'm guessing? Map, right? Yeah. What do you think, Mr. Godot? Or is it wrong? I think that Mr. Wright is lucky there's no rope around here. Huh? Even if I had just a sliver of rope, I'd be wrapping it nice and tight around his neck. I should have figured I'm not going to win this one with a lucky guess. What do you mean? The image shows it. Mr. Wright, your assertion seems to be baseless. There's no evidence that the body was swung like a pendulum after all. Wait, but that's the only possible way the body could have gotten across. The rope was already right in front of them. What? Okay, we load and we go back. It was not what I thought it was. The photo will have the rope, right? There it is hanging down there. They probably use that. Here's the photo then. And the meaning of this is, if you want to know where the rope came from, it's hanging right there in front of your glorious beard. Ah! This is one of the wires from the bridge. When the lightning struck the bridge and set it on fire, one of the suspension wires came loose from its anchor. The criminal didn't have any time to waste. So they tied the wire around Elise Luxonum's body. Swung it across. You know it would not land there like that, right? That's a little stupid, but sure, game logic. Because there was simply no other way to move the body. And the proof is the ball that's lying there. The staff ball. Ha! Glug 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 glug. Great. Mr. Godot. He's still gulping. Seems that Mr. Godot is more focused on his coffee than answering my question. It seems that the odds of a rope being readily available were very high. So I suppose that it's not an impossibility after all.
Objection!
Objection, slam. Possible or impossible? That's not the question we need to ask, okay? There's only one question. Did that really happen? Right, I wonder if we can prove what happened to us. Do you have any actual evidence that the body was swung over like a pendulum? I do. The crystal spear. It was found where the body would have landed. Before I present my evidence, let me review what we know so far. According to this photo, one of the wires snapped. Looking at the map, we can see it's the one that was in front of the inner temple. So then, that was the spot where the criminal... Yes, precisely. Now, let us consider the body's movement by looking at the overhead map again. If the body was pushed from this point here, it would drop on the opposite bank at approximately this point. Did you say drop? Well, they must have failed to catch the body on the other bank. What? What makes you think something like that can happen? Because I have evidence that suggests her body dropped some distance. Oh yeah, some feet. What kind of evidence? Take a look at this autopsy report. It says here that her body fell about 10 feet after her death. 10 feet, huh? That's most likely the height difference between the two sides. Oh, the other side is lower, okay. The body overswung due to forward momentum, but then came loose and fell about 10 feet. And then, as a result of the landing impact, this crystal spear was knocked loose. Oh, that's... Yes, this blood-stained amethyst crystal is the one that came off Miss Elise Buchanan's staff. And even more important is the place where this crystal spear was found. Indeed, I believe it's already marked on this overhead map. The crystal was found. Ah! Precisely, Your Honor. In the very spot where the pendulum would arrive if given the right amount of speed. This explains your theory quite well, Mr. Wright. What slap? You have provided us with a way the body would have been moved that night. An impressive deduction, Mr. Wright. Most impressive. Oh, he threw his coffee cup at me. Mr. Wright. I thought this cold coffee might help cool you down. What is the meaning of this, Mr. Gadot? Oh, he's got more, obviously. He has infinity coffee. That was a dark and bitter guess that you made, right? But you forgot about one thing. Oh, and what would that be? The aroma. What the hell? Huh? A coffee's most reliable accomplice is its deep and profound aroma. The rest of the court doesn't speak Coffeenese. Can you elaborate a bit more? If the criminal had sent the body to the other side like you say, then naturally there must have been an accomplice lying in wait to catch it. An accomplice? The criminal wasn't able to cross Dusky Bridge. So, who collected the body? What do you have to say about that, right? Oh. Mr. Gadot is correct. This can't be the work of a single person. Well, Mr. Wright, you know what you must do. The other person was Iris. The first person was not Iris. Yes, Your Honor. The body couldn't have made it to Hazakura Temple without an accomplice. Very well then. If you please, Mr. Wright. Who was the person that received the body on the Hazakura Temple side? Well, it was definitely Iris. It was Iris. It can only be you, Sister Iris. Huh? Ah, but I don't see why you're so surprised. The only way to transport the body from Dusky Bridge is by snowmobile. But with her bad back, Sister Bikini could never pick up a body like that. You are the only one that could have managed it.
Objection!
Right. Were you even listening to the witness's testimony? On the night of the crime, this little cutie pie... Okay, if she was on the inner temple side, she would have been trapped there. Okay? Was on cleanup duty in the inner temple garden after the mother-daughter bloodbath.
Objection!
Nope. I haven't forgotten. But have you, Mr. Godot? This witness was also seen at Hazakura Temple, desecrating the corpse of the victim. Strange indeed. It's almost as if... On that night, the defendant was in two different places at the same time. Sister Iris, let me ask you something. Why didn't you mention it when you first gave your testimony? Mention what? The pendulum, of course. Using this sketch drawn by an eyewitness, I have established how the body was moved using the burnt-out bridge. Which means it's now a fact that this occurred, something you should have already known. No, I had no idea. I didn't know anything about a pendulum. But the body couldn't have been passed along to the other side without your help. So you should have known about it. In fact, it would be impossible for you to be clueless about this whole thing. Unless you're not really Iris to begin with. What? How can you say that, Mr. Wright? What? What kind of nonsense is this? You're saying that this witness isn't Iris of Hazakura Temple?
Objection!
Are you serious, Wright? You mean this woman is... There's no one besides Iris that could have received the corpse that night. Now I get it. Now I know why I have been sick to my stomach this whole trial. Why her whole demeanor changed so suddenly from yesterday. And why she's trying to pin this murder on Maya. Oh, okay. The woman that's standing there at the witness stand. I thought she was in prison. She was executed. Apparently she was not executed. Her real name is Dahlia Hawthorne. How is she? That's why she was not able to... I never thought I'd have to utter your name again. That's why freaking Pearl was not able to channel her. Because she's alive. Let alone see you. It's been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne. Oh, Hawthorne. The Iris had a twin sister. And you're looking at her, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. That name rings some bells. Distant bells, but bells nonetheless. Ha! It's just your imagination, Cramp. This file contains all the relevant data about Dahlia Hawthorne. Does it? Oh yes, I remember now. That case, 5 years ago. My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I just want to say, it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence. The honor is all mine. Yep, pain with hair. No, the honor is all mine. Oh, he remembers. But according to this, Dahlia Hawthorne is already dead. It says her execution was carried out last month. She escaped. So what? Death has no meaning in this courtroom. What? What? Death has no meaning apparently. Order, order, order. Wait a moment. How can you? My sister. She's already dead. What kind of... Objection. No. You of all people should already understand. After all, the blood of the master of the Korean channeling technique flows within that body. The Korean channeling technique? Now where have I heard that? That's right, you are not Dahlia Hawthorne herself. You are the spirit of Dahlia, currently inhabiting the body of a spirit medium. Incredible. What an exciting story. Exciting, but quite impossible. You are asking us to buy that Dahlia Hawthorne just happened to be channeled by someone on the very night of the murder to a temple where her twin sister Iris was. Well, if you're going to put things that way, then yes.
Objection!
Good. We are supposed to believe a coincidence like that just happens?
Objection!
Naturally, it was no coincidence. The whole thing was part of a plan from the very beginning. It's all written right here in these instructions. Ah, what's that? These instructions were written by your mother, Morgan Fay. And part of the plan called for Dahlia Hawthorne to be channeled. That night, there were 2 irises at Hazakura Temple. 2 of them. Even the time of the channeling was planned out. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, in other words, 10 PM. However, Iris was seen before dinner time. That means the Iris that was at dinner was the real Iris. And the Iris who gave me this hood in the main hall was also the real Iris. Meaning that the Iris Sister Bikini saw at the inner temple was someone else dressed as her, namely one Dahlia Hawthorne.
Objection!
Do you even know what you are saying, Wright? This whole channeling the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne business. Yes, it's true that you found plans that talk about it. Slam. Oh, no cup. However, there's one thing that's perfectly clear. The witness currently standing in the witness stand is the real Iris. Well, what? So everyone believes in channeling now. Calm down and remember what you know about the night of the crime. After meeting Sister Bikini, the Dahlia Hawthorne that had been channeled would have been stranded at the inner temple due to the lightning strike. Maya channeled her. But why? It was later that the body was moved by pendulum. That's right. Naturally, that would mean that the Iris that received the body was real. The real Iris. Are you with me so far? Yes. After being notified of what happened, the police came to Hazakura Temple's main hall. There they found Iris in her room and arrested her. And ever since, she's been under police supervision at the detention center. Yes, I suppose. I can't deny any of that during the earthquake though. Phew, thank goodness. It looks like he's finally convinced. But something still seems off, way off. I'm still not convinced that the iris here is the same one from the other night. Ha! I suppose you're about to say something really ridiculous? Like the real Iris and the spirit of Dahlia somehow switched places. Switched places? What? No? I don't know. To be perfectly honest, there are still quite a few things I don't understand, but I do know that unless we confirm the witness's identity, we can't continue with this trial. Iris doesn't have the spiritual power needed to channel Dahlia, which means they must have switched places somewhere. Well, Mr. Wright, since the time she was arrested at Hazakura Temple, have there been any chances for Iris to switch places with Dahlia Hawthorne? After the earthquake, she opened the door. Maya was in there. Maya, who is Dahlia Hawthorne. Dahlia Hawthorne walked out, pushed the real Iris inside the thing, locked her up. There was one. Your Honor, I think there might have been one chance. Oh, explain yourself. I gotta end this episode, bro. It's so interesting, though. Yesterday, for a few minutes, Iris's whereabouts were unknown. Unknown? What do you mean? What I mean is, there was a span of time in which Iris was able to move about freely, unsupervised. Well, who was it? Who would give a murder suspect time to move about freely like that? I'm sorry. I know you didn't mean to. It wasn't your fault. The person who gave Iris a chance to freely move about was Edgeworth, unfortunately. Miles Edgeworth. This is Mr. Edgeworth, isn't it? Your Honor. There was a fairly large earthquake yesterday, was there not? An earthquake? Earthquake! Oh my goodness, the inner temple. This kind of tremor might... Yeah, there was an earthquake, we know. How could I have... She fled. She escaped. Yep, and then they switched. We went to the inner temple right away. And it's true, Iris was already there. However, they had already switched places by that point in time. When I arrived at the training hall, I was met by none other than Dahlia Hawthorne. That's quite enough already, Mr. Wright. Now see here. No judge in his right mind would consider spirit channeling and be quiet. Oh, yep, there she is. It's been a long time, Mr. Judge. Oh, that voice. Guess I'll have to ask again. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules. Dahlia Hawthorne. And my current profession? Permanently retired. Ha! So you're not going to bother hiding your identity anymore, huh? Why should I? After all, I'm dead. There's really nothing you can do to punish me. What is going on here? We can't really. Dahlia Hawthorne. I never thought we'd meet again, and I never thought we'd meet like this. But this time, I'll end it. For her and for myself. To be continued, please. I need to go. Thank God. Okay. I had to end the episode, but it's getting kind of freaking insane in there. Give your progress, please do. 4-1 trial, 4-2 trial. Yeah. February 10, 1:06 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 7. So they are opening the locks. They said it should be done by what? 3 hours. It was 10. It should be. It should getting news now about. Now then, let's continue where we left off, shall we? Okay, we'll save again, just to be sure. And then I'll see you in the next one. It's getting freaking insane, but I think we're close. So we should be getting news about the real Iris being found now, because the locks are going to be opened. This lady who's standing in front of us is actually Maya, who has channeled her and is stuck there apparently. I don't know. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one.